One of the more religiously accepted artistic traditions in Iran is the artistic development of calligraphy. Calligraphy is a highly developed form of Iranian art, and they even have their own style of Arabic calligraphy. They have developed many modern artists that can turn a simple word into art that looks very beautiful. Many Iranian painters take inspiration from the classic themes of Persian miniatures and combine it with calligraphy for a unique Persian effect. Ever since the beginning of civilization in Iran, many people have invaded, conquered, and expanded the region. The Babylonians, Assyrians, Persians, Greeks, and Romans and Turks have all had an influence on the region's cuisine. Iranian cuisine is mostly known as Persian cuisine because Iran was known as Persia until 1934, and the Persian territory stretched into India, which led the people to adopt the spice of curry. This is why many stews are spicy because they demonstrate India's influence. India has also adopted a few dishes from Persia because the Mughals invaded India in 1526, bringing many Persian spices with them. An Indian cuisine that was modeled after what the Persians ate was known as Mughlai. It is made with mounds of rice that are seasoned with saffron, topped with nuts, raisins, and various meats. Dishes like kofta and pilau are common to both regions. Many of the most prominent dishes were introduced to the Arabs by the Greeks, other Arabs, and the Turks and the Russians. When the Greeks invaded Iran, they introduced stuffed grape leaves. Whether it came from Greece or Turkey, yogurt was also introduced to the region as a dietary staple. Many of the foods are categorized into hot or cold, which is believed to be derived from the Greek theories. During the Arab invasion of the 600s, foods like lamb, fig, and dates were introduced to the region. When the Turks expanded their Ottoman Empire into the Persian territory, the stuffing of leaves, vines, fruits, and vegetables with various fillings was reinforced by them. One of Iran's national dishes, the kebab, was the most significant introduction to the region by the Turks. Strong Turkish tea was also introduced, but fell out of popularity because of chai tea. This tea is brewed in an urn called a samovar, with a Russian word which leads to the belief that the tea originated in Russia. Iranian food is very fresh and healthy, as it only uses small amounts of red meat and emphasizes larger amounts of grains, fruits, and vegetables. Iranian cuisine has had its own uniqueness because it chooses to prepare meals with contrasting flavors like sweet or sour or mild and spicy. Iranian cuisine is largely based on rice. It is inexpensive, grown locally, affordable, and readily available, and it is a staple in everyday diet. A typical Iranian meal is a plate of cello, plain cooked rice, topped with vegetables, fish, or meat. It provides a contrast to spicy meat toppings. The two national rice dishes of Iran are cello and polo, or a rice with several ingredients, and they provide a variety of dishes that can be prepared with it. Naan is a round flat bread and is a staple food of Iran. It can be cooked and baked over a bed of small stones. There are different varieties of naan, like lavash, a thin, brittle bread served for breakfast, and sangak, a chewier bread marked by the small dimples in the crust. Villages make their own naan, but people who live in the cities go to the bakeries. In Iran, meat is mostly eaten as kebabs. The two most common meats are chicken and lamb. Ash and koresh are two popular entrees in Iran. They also contain these meats. Another soup that contains these meats is abgosht, which is made of mutton or sheep meat and chickpeas. The soups usually aren't served with a spoon and are drunk straight from the bowl. Things like koftas, vegetables like eggplant, fruits like quinces, and yogurt can be added to these soups to add variety and flavor. For dessert, quinces, pears, grapes, dates, apricots, and Iranian melon flavored with rose water are typically eaten. Halva, a sesame treat, and baklava, a crisp paper-like pastry with nuts and honey, is also eaten for dessert. This strikes a contrast to American desserts, as Iranian desserts are fresher and healthier. Iranians also love ice cream and pudding. Chai tea is a highly treasured drink. However, Agave coffee is also highly favored. Children usually have a sweet drink after a large meal. Paladin, a rose and lemon drink, or doogh, sour milk or yogurt mixed with sparkling water, and fresh fruit juices can be made at home or bought. The Iranian classical music system is very elaborate and consists of many parts. The musical system consists of 12 modal units called dastgah, which is broken down into smaller melodic parts called gushe, which is mostly associated with Persian poetic texts. A full performance of classical music consists of alternate, arrhythmic, and rhythmic sections of a single dastgah. This allows the instrumentalist and the vocal artist to improvise with the modal structure, which creates a unique and memorable performance. Traditional Iranian instruments include the tar, a lute-like instrument shaped like a figure eight, sitar canon, a larger and broader vertical fiddle, the damak, a double-headed drum, and the daf, a large tambourine. Many popular music forms are disapproved by the high religious figures because they are based on melodic structures of classical music. This has led to many Iranian musicians to live abroad so that they can record and export their music back to Iran. Under the current government, women are not allowed to perform music in public. When the radio was invented in the 1930s, pop music in Iran was able to blow up and mature. Before pop music was able to become prevalent in Iran, music sounded quite traditional, and the Iranians were begging for something that sounded new. Pop music was able to bring a new, modern sound to Iran while also becoming influential in Iranian pop in its beginning stages. In its beginning stages, Iranian pop was a carbon copy of Western pop, only translated into Farsi. Much of the pop bands in the 50s and the late 40s had a popular singer in the group to make their name more known quickly and to gain advantages over other bands. An example of this would be with the band Black Cats, with the lead singer named Farhad. However, after the revolution, pop music was seen as a symbol of Mohammad Reza Shah's dictatorship. It was branded as Western, un-Islamic, and un-Iranian, etc. This caused many pop singers in Iran to migrate to Los Angeles, where the music was well received and welcomed. However, many critics believe that Los Angeles produced Iranian pop music because they were low on content and wanted something to get out there. Iran has two traditional and unique dramatic forms. The first is Tazia, which is an elaborate pageant which depicts the death of Imam Hussein. In its full form or length, it lasts 10 days with hundreds of performers and animals. The second form is less elevated but still as traditional and unique. It is known as Ruhauzi theater because it is typically performed on a platform placed over a pool in a courtyard. It is usually performed at weddings and other celebrations by interred troops. At the end of the 19th century, modern Western drama has entered Iran, and a number of fine playwrights and attracted a number of fine playwrights' attention. Iranian films have piqued an interest in the entire world in recent years and has even won some international prizes. The industry is decades old, but in the 1970s, under the sponsorship of the National Iranian Radio and Television, it started to develop as a serious art form. Many young filmmakers are still in Iran to create their film or their art, despite the censoring. Many religious officials found a film immoral before the revolution, but they see that these filmmakers can bring a progressive and positive image to Iran, so they have changed their views to support the industry.